Okay.
Hello, everyone. Angelica, Bruce, Deirdre, not sure what that stands for. Robert, Kenloy, Yi.
Hi.
So what we thought we'd do this time is, as you had pointed out in the Piazza notice, is work through the project and work through project questions. And then when there's a pause, I'd like to ask if anybody's got questions on the caching assignment that we could benefit from talking about here. And then we can go back to the project description or any issues people are having. Does anybody have any questions to start?
Yeah. So, I'm actually at my third day today, and what happened when I was running the program? Then I had a broken pipe in between. So I did not restart. So shall I restart the? Is it allowed, or?
Do you have an answer to that?
You mean can you repeat your question again? Sorry, I didn't get that point.
Yeah, so I was doing SSH to the Jetstream, and I ran that program to update the geolocation. Today is my third day, and it went well, but it had a broken pipe at the end, so my connection dropped. So after that, when I went to the log, I see that some 2,900 almost some records got updated. So shall I restart it because it did not finish gracefully?
Yeah, you have to restart it.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you.
Other questions?
I have a question. So today in the morning, when I tried to connect to the virtual machine, the status was saying networking, and it couldn't connect. So what should I do? I restarted it several times, but still saying networking.
So there's an issue on the Jetstream side, and Jetstream side cannot figure out what's happening there. So the Jetstream side emailed us this morning. They said that they encourage the student to leave the machine running there, and they will do their best to figure out what's happening. So at this moment, I cannot give you any useful recommendation how to deal with this issue. I think you just wait there, or you can,
So how long will it take for them to fix it? Because we have only a week left for the project deadline.
Yeah. How many times have you run that project?
It was working fine until yesterday.
I mean, how many times do you run the step 3? Run the
3 days.
Oh, 3 days.
So,
so you need 1 day to run the project. I think you have enough time for the project.
Oh, okay.
So
one question is, in the morning, I think by mistake I clicked on the redeploy. Will I lose any files that I had already, or?
No, you won't lose anything there.
Oh, redeploy won't erase anything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I've done 4 days, and this is Angelica, and I've exported my file, and I've done the awk step where I display the longitude and latitude and the username, and I am trying to understand, so that puts it into a comma separated, but it doesn't put into a file. Do I just screen scrape that and copy it and put it into Notepad?
So it's hard to give you an answer about this part. So I think you should give me a more clear detail about your issue. Could you?
Okay.
Sorry.
So in the README file, you give us a command awk printf and then output Twitter, which is your output file.
Yeah.
And then it will display the data from the exported file, and it will put it in the format so it's comma separated. But it just displays to the screen. Do you just expect us to copy that and then just paste it into a notepad and then create the HTML in that website that you send us to, the developersgoogle.com?
So I don't check the readme file clearly, but in that readme file, I think you just use that export tool, right?
I did that export and I'm all done with that. So I have a file now.
Yeah, you have a CSV file or a TXT file?
It created a CSV because I specified that.
So for this CSV file, do you got enough information about these 50 users, about the all users? Do you got the geolocation?
Yep, I do. I have the longitude and the latitude and the username.
And the geolocation, like long fat, right?
Lat and long and username, yes.
So you just need to copy paste this value into HTML file, that's all.
Into and then we just go to that developersgoogle.com to figure out how to do that?
Yes, I think that's the second link on the description.
Yeah.
So, but for your project report, you have to submit all information, not just these 3 columns. Like you have to submit the geolocation, reformat data, like that. So about these 9 fields about all of this data set.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So
you're saying every single column that we have in the database, you want that in a file?
Yes.
You want the 3 for the mapping?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Okay. So are we just pretty much supposed to go to that Google's page and try to, I'm not clear what we need to do on that Google page.
Okay, so could you click on the second link of the description? I think that's google.whatever and /map. I think that's the second link.
Yeah, google.com.
There's a sample HTML file there. You can go down and find that sample HTML file, and you will in that, hold on, let me share my screen.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. So, so when you click on this link, you will find, let me show it slow. Okay, that's a visualization, that's a tutorial for you how to plot geolocation on the map. So when you go down and you can find this sample HTML file.
You just copy it.
Yeah, so you just here. So you need to modify this part, add information.
And then create a .html file and then just open it in my browser.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very, very easy. Just a copy paste if you got the export CSV file.
So we take the code from the HTML, we replace the values, create a file, and then open it.
Yeah.
So how many samples you will need? We will need E in order to create the HTML file. You need like 10, 20.
50, right? It was specified, yeah.
50 documents. Oh. So let me go to description. Yeah.
50. Got it. Yeah.
And so our submission would be only 50, right? Not the entire, right? If my understanding.
For the submission, for the first part, you have to submit these 50 users information, not these 3 columns. You have to submit all information there.
All information for 50 users.
All columns or all.
Columns, yeah. So even though you just submit, because we want to see about the updated information.
Yeah.
We update the geolocation on the documents. So if you just submit this stuff, that's still fine, but we encourage you to submit all these columns there.
So someone else asked about that. Does it have to be tab or can it be a comma separated like we did our export?
Okay. So if you use CSV file, it means it's very clear for us to read. But if you export as TXT file, so we want you to use tab to separate these columns, so it's easy for us to read them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I encourage you to use CSV file. This column is very clear.
Oh, even though this says tab separated, you're saying you want us to be a CSV?
Yeah, CSV is easy for us to read.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the CSV file, you don't need to use tab to split these columns.
Okay.
It's very, yeah.
Say tab. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, that is, Angelica raises a good point, though. If we do ask for tab separated value files, we need to accept those and not penalize people, because that is what the project description says. So I think if they give it in comma separated value, I think that's great, and that'll be helpful. But we can't change things now and change the requirements.
So you're saying you want it in tab then?
No, I think your comma separated value is fine,
perfectly fine.
and it's preferred. But if you give it to us in tab separated value, we're not going to penalize you for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second one is that HTML file that you're going to create. Just create that file, upload that, and then all your counts and all that will come in the written report. Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it sounds like people are, some of you at least are moving through the project. If you're talking about deliverables, you're moving through the project. So give me a sense, there's not that many of you, give me a sense of where you're at, a percentage completion.
This is Tanmay. So I'm at third day. So I'm almost 60% complete. So tomorrow will be my last day of that, and then I can complete the rest of the requirement.
Yeah, if you're doing that last step, I'd put you more than 60% complete, but thank you. How about other people? You can weigh in on chat, or you can just talk.
Yeah, today's my first day, so this is Jimmy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're just getting started?
No, I'm just running the script for my first day, so I still need 3 days to go.
I see. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Good. Other people?
This is Bruce. I just have to prepare deliverables.
Fabulous. Good. Others? You just put a percentage down below in the chat if you want to do that too. We had, I should say, in the session before where we were talking to the other half of the class, we had people who who said dead in the water, so that's okay too.
The project has been very challenging. I think everything up to running your geocode was very straightforward because we had done a lot of discussions on that. But after that, it was just a lot of trial and error.
Oh, through this last piece?
Yeah, I mean, up to data, what was it, step 3, querying and updating. So step 1 and step 2, I felt like the TAs, the AIs did a great job preparing us. But step 3 and step 4 just felt like it could be a little clearer. So I've been struggling a little bit with those steps.
Oh, okay. And step 3, if you could pop back up again, let's take a look at step 3.
I've gotten through all of step 3 and now I'm on step 4.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear you're beyond step 3 and working on step 4.
Yeah.
How about others? Many people are being quiet. Okay, let me just, while people are thinking about that, let me just change the subject a little bit. So the unit, I believe it's 8, is that we're on right now. Let me just check yeah. is on caching. Are people, do people have any questions on caching? Are people generally familiar with what a cache is? I mean, how many of you have seen a cache or encountered a cache in your readings or your education before this?
Hey, this is Tanmay. I have some familiarity on the caching. I have some experience on the relational database, so I know the database uses some or other way of caching. But in the exercise, I did follow the slide to clarify my understanding or brush up my understanding on the LRU, MRU, least access, and all the other method. And then I tried to complete the first exercise.
Okay. Have other people encountered caching or cache in their work? Okay.
This is Angelica. I've never been exposed to this, other than like theoretical. Like I know what cache is, but I've never implemented anything.
Okay. So if we use a web browser, and people are familiar with the web browser. So when web browser, you're accessing CNN site or accessing some site, some of that content is sits back at your browser, and that content that sits back at your browser is sitting in a cache, and that browser is sitting in the content in your cache is sitting most likely on the file system of your machine. It could be part of it could be sitting in memory. So a cache will reside either on a disk or it will reside in memory. And a defining characteristic of a cache is that it's fixed size. So you go to CNN, you're browsing around, the content gets cached into your local machine, and then at some point your cache fills up. And when it fills up, then there needs to be some algorithm that ejects things. So when a new file comes in or a new object comes in, something's got to go. So these cache replacement strategies are different techniques for basically ejecting something out of a cache when a cache is full. And it's a simple concept, but it's absolutely pervasive. Anytime you've got an application that's running on more than one machine and you've got the definitive source, like a file system, like a database, you've got the data sitting in that definitive source, and you've got clients that are sitting elsewhere on other machines, you're going to have caching. And it's pretty pervasive across a lot of applications that run in a mode that's greater than your single machine, which is about every application today, especially with our smartphones. So the strategies then that we talked about are again strategies for ejecting something. So least recently used. Okay, the file is ejected if it has the earliest last use date. In other words, it's old. Find the oldest file, eject it. If it's a first in, first out strategy, find the file that went in first, eject that. And here this differs from least recently used, because used said somebody actually used it. Somebody actually touched it. You went back and brought that CNN page back up there, where first in, first out is just a simple, it went in first, it went into the cache first, it's the first one to go. Least frequently accessed is a notion of how frequently something is accessed. Largest file first, you're looking around in the cache for which file to go, biggest one goes. So again, it's a simple concept, but it's so pervasive. And anytime you have a cache, it's small. So you've got to have some kind of strategy for getting things out of your cache. Your cache fills up. Again, it's a very simple notion. So what I had you do in this example for the homework for this is to fill in the table and you're playing cache ejection algorithm basically here, where you're given some files and you're having to figure out in strategy how they would be affected, how the files would be affected by that strategy. So the whole point here again is, and just to finish up here, the whole point is that caching is a critical concept, and knowing what one of these are, and knowing that it's finite, and knowing that its ejection strategy is guided by generally one of these 5 algorithms, which are the 5 most frequently used, is something that I wanted you to take away from this lesson. Pretty straightforward. Questions?
No,
Okay,
it's
well,
pretty clear.
okay, good. Yeah, it is a pretty simple concept, but I did want to, make sure that we take some time in each of our discussion sections to talk about these things so that, people aren't feeling like they're floating around out there. Don't want that. Okay, so if there's no questions on caching, then we'll turn back to any project discussion questions that are out there. So you?
Yeah, I'm here. So any questions about the project, about the report or something? So if no questions, I can briefly discuss about the step 3 and step 3. Yeah. So about step 3, the project can help us to update the geolocation into the array document. So here, go to this table. So this is the one sample document. That's the first document in the database in this 10,000 records. So here we can see there is a username, user ID, and some friend count, follower count, some list 8 information on document. Then if we use this, user location and use this information to query and the Google API, and the Google API can return this result. Can return this result here. The reformat location address and the geolocation there. So the project can help us to update this geolocation information. This geolocation can help us update this geolocation information to this document. So when the project finishes running, so you will see the document will be updated. The geolocation information will be added into your document. So this is what the project done for this running. So you run this project over 4 times over 4 days, then this 10,000 documents should be updated with this correct information. But in this project, we want you to figure out how many locations were you able to validate, or what is the remaining number. It means there's some issue about this updating work, like maybe the project extract this user's location, but this location is invalid and the Google API cannot find this location. So it will return error result, and it will update some error information into the geolocation. So you have to figure it out how many documents haven't been updated. So that's your work for the for the report. And for the step 4, visualization. So after you run these projects 4 times over 4 days, you get this, 10,000 documents have been updated. So it means almost every document in the database could have this geolocation, this kind of geolocation. So you have to extract at least 2 numbers, late and long link number, from the document, and you have to extract the user's name here and plot these 3 values into a map. So that's what we want you to do. So visualization is not about how to create a map. It's about how to query your database and extract the useful information into a file, into another place, and you just copy paste this name and these 2 geolocations into a map. So that's very straightforward. So any questions about these two steps?
So when your query runs, it should add that geolocation to every single, like this is a key value pair. It should always add geolocation. It's just whether there is a location attached to that geolocation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But that key should exist in every file.
Yeah.
Okay.
So also, I think this sample code, I mean, this table on the step 3 can help you to check your results. You can db.profile.find1, get the first document and check does this document has this correct information. So if this, in your database, the first document has this same information, it means you are on the right way to finish the project.
So when it says geocode exists equals false, does that mean it never got that geolocation?
Oh, this is a kind of query for the project. So project use this query like geocode exists false. So it means for this document haven't been updated. There's no geocode there.
Yeah.
So project use this query to find how many documents haven't been updated. Then extract this document into his memory. Then update it, then restore this updated document into MongoDB. So it's not about your, it's not about your, this query is not about your report, not about your solution. It's just about how to extract the document haven't been updated. Yeah.
So after 4 days, if you run that, it should be 0.
No, you cannot use this query for your last step. So can you go to your README file? So this README file can show you something very useful, like, I think you could use this.
But you're saying this tells me whether all my records have been updated or not.
Yeah, so you can use, I think you can use that part.
Yeah, so after 4 days, every record should have a geocode equals true. So this should give you 0 results after 4 days because all 10,000 records should have been processed.
Yeah. You are right.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure.
You have to, build your own command line on your Mongo share. Not just copy paste it. This doesn't work. This is just a part of query. Any questions about this project?
I guess I had one more question. I'm sorry, I had a lot of questions. So with the awk command, is there a good website to help with that?
You mean?
Like in the README file?
Oh, README file. So
yeah.
I don't have the name. Okay, please keep going.
So in that file, I use that to display my data, but I need quotes around the username before I put it into HTML. And I was struggling with the syntax for that.
Okay. Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen. I think I can find that there. So yeah.
I can paste it to the chat.
Oh, okay. So let's just paste that export command there. So make sure don't.
Yeah,
It's on the chat.
that off right there.
Okay. Let me see this screen larger font. Close it. Where's chat? So visualization. So you have what's your question about this visualization?
So I ran that awk command and it displayed my data and it gave me longitude, comma, latitude, comma, and it gave me the username, but I need to have the username in single quotes, correct?
Yeah.
And so I need to modify that command so I can put quotes around it, and I'm not technical enough to know the syntax to do that, and I didn't know if there was a website.
Oh, you mean the AWK command?
The AWK print F.
Yeah. So that's hold on. What does it work? So print So yeah, so I have to Google it to help you to find what you should to get this some extra symbol there. Seems like it just ignore the empty space or something, and put something there. So I don't understand what's this. So so I can post some of this AWK command to help students to manage the TS to reformat the CSV file. So
Okay.
AWK, okay, got that. The format, the output CSV file about to meet the visualization format. Since I learn new language. Any questions? So I can mark these questions on my notes and I can figure it out.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Just one question, other student?
Yeah, so I'm not there yet, so I may ask the question in Piazza.
Oh, okay. Okay, and so for this, I mean, for this deliverable, you can package all these stuffs into a zip file and submit into Canvas. I think that's the easiest way to submit it for this project. Any questions? No questions? I mean, we have this here. can start to. So if a student don't have any question, I will stop sharing my screen. So I'm trying to figure out the AWK command. And if you have a question, just speak up. I can try to help you.
Are you busy doing something? I mean, if not, we could close this off.
Yes,
recording a lot of quiet.
Yeah. So everyone, if you have a question, just post it post it into Piazza, and we can help you as we can.
Great, that would be great.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.